there's no tempo change. So there's not really that, oh, I got hit moment. I want you to not know about the trick shot until you already got hit. The twist kick is a modern day attack that is an unorthodox technique. Now we use the twist kick in order to evade the opponent's cover, and then that way if I see the open spot on their hogu or their chest protector, I can go and twist into it. Now if you look at a traditional front leg roundhouse kick, you're bringing your knee up like this and you're kicking through sideways. With the twist kick, instead of having my knee pointed this way, I'm going to open the knee just like a book and I'm going to kick the other direction. In order to get more of an effect on that flip, what I'm going to do is start off with my knee, chamber just like a roundhouse kick, and then right when I'm about to extend, I'm going to open my knee into external rotation, aka opening up like a book, and then from there I'm going to get that twisting angle. So full speed. Scoring a twist kick comes from deception. So like I said earlier, when we first chamber, I want you guys to make it look like you're kicking a roundhouse kick with your front leg. That way my opponent will drop their arm to this backside, leaving this front side open. So once I get that reaction, I can hit that open side by opening the book and then twisting and then hitting preferably this backside where most of my kicks are scoring. So from here, I chamber just like a roundhouse kick, and then I open the book and hit that twist. Full speed. Twist kick, you could either go from in the air position, right, like this, or you could just go straight from the floor and just go into that external rotation. Earlier in the match, I could start off with roundhouse kicks to your backside or uppers, right, my front leg roundhouse kick, just to tap, right, just to tap, right. I could even bring it up to the face, just to show it, right? And then once I get that reaction, I'm hitting that side. Again, I could also bring my leg up into almost like a slanted cut. So instead of being all the way over here, I could bring it up like this, push it out, right? Maybe score, maybe I don't, but still I have your mind on that cut. Same thing, I could play up in the air with it. I could bring it to the body and then face. And then from here, sneak in that twist kick, right? Or another thing.
What about if I'm clashing with you, and because this is very typical in modern styles.
Yes.
If they're coming in with cancels or cut kicks, but you clash on the cut kick so it looks like a cancel, from that position, if they keep coming in like that, and you keep clashing, can you play off?
Yes, so if they're coming at me with high volume, right, I want to kind of negate that. I want to let them know that even if they come at me with pressure, I have adequate defense, that it's not going to phase me, right? So maybe I noticed that they started off with a cut once, right, and maybe it touched me, okay? So it touched me once, second time, maybe I pull out, but the third time, I want to try and time a high cancel. So then that way, you see how that pushes you back? Again, I'm going to time a high cancel, and then as I see their foot dropping, I'm going to keep it up and then still score that point. One, and then two. So the timing for the switch kick off of the cancel would be right before their foot touches the floor, because if their foot comes back down and it touches the floor, then there's the chance that it could come back up, right? But if it's in the air, it can't come back up if it's on the way down. So I want to time it on the way down before it touches the floor, and then I'm scoring that kick. So in a closed stance, I would say the twist kick would be more applicable to the body, but it also depends what electronic scoring system you're using, right? So with Dedo is going to be covering the whole entire back, right? So I still have a chance to be scoring on that side. So if it's on Dedo and I'm in closed stance, yes, I could still work on the front leg kick, front leg attacks, and then once I see the cover come to that side, I'm hitting that little region where it's open, right? But if you are competing in its KPMP, the sensors only come up to the side and it doesn't cover the back, right? So instead of trying to score like a tricky twist on a part of the sensor that isn't really existent, I would say more try on that front side, a little bit more traditional style Taekwondo with KPMP. But with Dedo, it has that open spot on the back. I could still use the same concept, bring my closed book, and then once I see that, I open it up. So a lot of times when I see athletes not being able to score the twist kick, I feel like it comes down to a tempo change problem, right? So it's either they're showing too much activity in the air by going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then they try and throw it, and the person has already got in their mind, oh, this is a flexible fighter. It's a fighter that fights with angles. I'm gonna make sure that I cover up. I'm gonna make sure that I get out of range, right? So it's a little bit too much action, and it doesn't disguise my fast twist because you already saw that level of intensity, right? Or it could be I'm kicking too much while putting it down, so I'm trying to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And maybe it does score if they just don't have the cover there, but again, there's no tempo change. So there's not really that, oh, I got hit moment, right? And that's what you want to create with a trick shot like that, right? I want you to not know about the trick shot until you already got hit. So a lot of times what I like to recommend is I like to start off at a slower pace. I throw the front leg, right? I tap the front leg nice and light just to show them, hey, my foot is here. And then once I get them lulled into this lullaby pace, this slower pace, right? I could change it up on them, tempo change, and then score that point. Another thing that I see commonly is they're not getting enough range of motion to be able to hit sideways like this, right? If you have really, really flexible hips, you'll be able to clear that range whether this bottom foot is facing backwards, forwards, sideways. If you have those hips, then maybe it's not a problem to you. But if you're having problems with clearing that range of motion, one thing I would recommend is when you bring this foot up, you can't let the heel drop. If the heel drops, then I don't have any more room to pivot and I'm gonna get stuffed like this, right? But if I keep the heel up, I could start off from a roundhouse kick pivot into a little bit more forward like this, and then I have that extra range of motion to be able to clear that sideways. Okay, so I would say going through hip cars, so going through full range of motion with both hips is gonna help not only stretch out the hip, but it's gonna create strength in those positions, right? So we could either go to the wall and then work on Taekwondo style cars, so I can go closed to open, closed to open. It's a little bit more dynamic. Or I could do the classic hands on the wall, and then I'm trying to bring my knee up, out, and around, and then I would do the same thing backwards to try and open up those hips, wake up those hip flexor muscles and the glutes, and then that way I feel a little bit more control throughout the kick. If you found this breakdown helpful and you're looking to improve your sparring game, I want you to check out the video right here. It's a 48-minute long free training session breaking down the 33 advanced sparring tactics that you could use to dominate your next sparring championship.